Folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is awesome. So Tom Martin, he's here with us. He is almost every single Friday, sometimes with guests, sometimes just him and Raw. About 8 years in leadership, helping develop, train, coach, and guide agents into success. If you don't have a pen and paper ready, you're probably going to miss something important that you're going to want to write down. Having Tom on these calls gives you the ability to work on your business. The fact that you're here proves to me that you're interested in your business and you're interested in your success. So with that, Mr. Tom Martin. Good morning, Tom. How are you, buddy? Awesome. Glad to hear. Really? Wow. No, she didn't.
George did it. He
I had nothing to do with that.
So good morning. This morning I was reading something and it kind of triggered something for me today. It does every day, by the way. It's called the John Maxwell Daily Reader. It's pretty amazing. I know Steve Pugh has it in his office now and he has it out, but mine is so worn out that it comes out in chunks by months. So here's what it looks like. My book is just like falling apart, but this book has delivered so much value to me in the time that I've had it. It's been, let's see, thank you for being part of this, this tremendous team here, 2012 leadership meeting. So I've had this book since 2012 and I read it every day, every year, and it is getting abused, seriously. So what it talks about today is taking a risk. We have about 44 people on the call. We have probably some guests on the call. We have some top producers on the call. We have new agents on the call, and we have agents that want to progress in the business. So taking a risk. Are you willing to take a risk, even fail to have a daring adventure? So it talks about Helen Keller, saying security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature, nor do the children of men as a whole experience it. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than an outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. And what it did for me is it took some things in perspective. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to be safe. I'm cautious. I want to be safe. I want to be cautious. Well, what if you did take the risk? So I'm going to talk about the what ifs. What if you did something that gave you more time back? What if you did something that helped you make more money, right? Because time and money are really what we look for. People say, oh man, I'd love to make more money. Well, you wish for it, you got it. You're making a ton of money. Well, guess what you don't have anymore is time. Oh my gosh, I have all this time on my hands, but I have not enough money. I need more money, right? So imagine if you can balance the two. And here's the key. We're going to talk about this today. And the key to success in time, having more time and having more money, is leverage and time blocking. Those are the only two things that you need to focus on. What's so risky about that? Well, here's the risk of leverage. We don't want to pick up the expense. Well, it's an investment. Or we don't know where to find it. Well, you know what? You got 51 people on this call. You got George Philback. You got myself. Claire Autry is an amazing coach. She knows how to build a team. She's helped people build teams. There's many, Steve Pugh, you got Ian Anderson, you got Ali Partovi. So you have people that you can turn to say, hey, I'm at a point in my business and now I need leverage, right? Well, I will tell you this, leverage is never easy. It is not. It downright sucks sometimes because you're going to hire someone because they're your family member, they're your daughter, they're your cousin, they need the money. And before you know it, you got to fire them. They just don't fit the role. So leverage is tough. So as you're growing your plan for 2022, you have to make sure that you have an organizational chart of what your business will look like and who's in it, okay? Now, I'm going to go into a few things, and I don't have my easel here, so I kind of rigged this a little bit. I put my books here, and then hopefully it stays there. But I want to talk about your GPA, okay? Your GPA, GPA. Now, can you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. No? All right, you can. So I got a thumbs up for Claire and I got a thumbs down for Terry. All right, so GPA. G stands for goals. P, plan and action. I talked about this in the business plan, and this may be redundant for a lot of you, but I want you to understand. When I was in leadership, every single Tuesday, I had a phone call with the entire leadership in the country. And guess what? We talked about the exact same thing every darn Tuesday. And you know what it was? It's a subconscious mind. Now my subconscious mind thinks, okay, I need 2 appointments per day, 10 a week, 40 a month to achieve my goal. So what are the daily activities I need to do? So does my GPA match my GPS? Okay. So goals. What goals do you have coming up for 22? You got to start writing them down, guys, because here's the thing. We're already in January. You just don't even know it. Most of the business that you write today, you take a listing today, it may not close till January. If it's a 45-day close or 60-day close, you may go into December. Okay. So what are your goals? And matter of fact, you should be doing this on a monthly basis. Goal setting every single month. All right. Am I in line with my goals? What's my plan? And then am I going to take action? Again, a lot of this is going to be redundant for you guys, but this is what needs to stick in your head. So does your GPA match your GPS? That GPS is our, the growth, productive, partnership and synergy. I always say productivity, partnership and synergy. So GPS is your goals, priorities, and the strategies to achieve that. If I get real messy in my spelling, because I don't know how to spell something, so I just kind of scribble. All right. Your goals, your plans, your action, your GPA. Is it in alignment with your GPS? Does your goal, what priorities do you have in place to achieve your goal? What strategies do you have in place to achieve your priorities and then to achieve your goals? And I want to kind of go through this a little bit because we're going to get a little confused. People are going to go, what are you talking about, Tom? All right. When you set a goal, if it's units, if it's volume, if it's income, no matter what it is, set the goal. Okay. And then I want you to think of 3 priorities that you can do to achieve that goal, such as, what's the number 1 responsibility we have as real estate agents? That's right. Lead generation, pick up the phone, right? So think about one priority as being lead generation. By the way, if you take LG for lead generation and you put GL beside it, it's just the LG backwards. That means a good life. I promise you, if you do the lead generation, it will create great things for you. I would say about 95% or more of our realtors in our business do not lead generate. They sit there and they wait for a lead, or they go to Zillow and Realtor.com, OpCity, Redfin, blah, 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 blah. It just doesn't work. And I'm going to show you another exercise after this. So another priority that you may have is maybe growth, education, self-development. Okay. Are you prepared to become the person that you need to be to achieve your goal? If you continue doing the same things you're doing now, will you get to where you want to go? You have to ask yourself that. And then the third thing is, what training classes are you going to go to? Who are you going to surround yourself around? And then strategies, lead generation. That's a priority, right? What are the things that we're going to do for lead generation? We got to either call for sale by owners, expired, circle prospecting. Oh, here's a good one. Our database, our cell phone, postcards, open houses. This mega whatever open house we're having this weekend. Anyone local needs to attend that and just see for yourself, holy cow, I need to do this. Is it going to be work involved if you do it yourself? Of course, everything's going to require work. How you doing, Tommy? Everything is going to require work. And are you willing to put in the work to achieve the goal that you want to achieve? Or are you just wanting to be too cautious and not take a risk? I don't know. My wife always tells me I'm always taking risks, and what if it doesn't work? And I'm like, well, what if it does? I'm always very optimistic. The glass is half full. It's not half empty. I'm always looking at going, it's going to be a great day. I don't care if the weather's bad or not. It's going to be a great day. Something's great is going to happen today, and we just don't know what it is yet. Oh, it's dreary. No, find a way to talk yourself up. So what strategies will you be doing to achieve your priorities? So again, lead generation is your number one key. Am I actually making calls? So I sat with a young man yesterday. His name's Matt Riley. I love this kid to death. I mean, literally, he's about the same age as my son. And I will tell you this, I brought him into the business probably about 4 years ago. You know what he's doing this year alone? He's making more money this year than he did in his entire 3 years prior. You know what? I said, what changed, Matt? He goes, well, I did what you told me I needed to do. It's shut up and listen and just make my phone calls. Guys, he's calling for sale by owners. He's building a relationship with them. Milton James, he's calling for sale by owners. He's building a relationship with them. It works. So if you have that fear of the phone, go knock on the door. What if that $700,000 for sale by owner turns into a listing and creates a $21,000 commission for you? Would that change your mindset? Yeah. Terry's like, yeah, it would. It definitely would. Daryl, yes, right, Daryl? Absolutely. So why aren't we doing it? So if I said, hey, drive to this address and pick up a $21,000 check for yourself, would you do it? That's the same thing. Go there, do it. It's uncomfortable. Circle prospecting. Guys, Grant Cardone will tell you, get hung up on, get swore at, get yelled at, just keep moving forward. The fear of rejection is fear is a liar. It's a great song. You might want to listen to it. Fear is a liar. Okay. The things that we fear prevents us from taking a risk of success. Even if we fail at it, it doesn't matter. We just keep getting up and going again. I'd rather fail every single day than be overly cautious and say I didn't do my best today. 100%. I failed on washing my truck this week, and I wish I would have had a videotape to show you guys, because I like laughing at myself. I did a cartwheel out of the back of my truck, and it hurt. I landed right on my chest. It wasn't literally, I wasn't doing it on purpose. It had a lot of wax and soap and stuff on the bumper, and I slid right off. It was, I went to my Ring camera, and I'm trying to look and see the video if I can play it for everyone to laugh. But here's the thing, guys. Risk. Are you taking a risk to create the success that you want? I took a risk to wash the top of my truck, knowing that I'm probably going to slip on my butt. And I didn't fall on my butt. I fell on my chest about 6 feet up. That felt good. Anyway, so your GPA needs to match your GPS. Now, how do I get more detailed into this? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas. You ready? And then I'm going to go into another quick little exercise that's going to give you guys a lot of clarity. There's 3 classes I know that are coming up. One in Daytona Beach, October 21st for 3 hours. And it's going to be a very detailed business planning. Okay. It's actually a very good friend of mine that's going to be teaching it. And she's a coach, a national coach that teaches on it across the country. I'll be doing one October 13th. That's next Wednesday, I think, in Orlando. Mateo Reza has the link for that. Guys, it's $25, but they reimburse you. What they're doing is they're making you accountable to show up. Okay, so it's a $25 fee. If you show up, they give you the cash as soon as you walk in the door. All right. I love the idea. Wasn't a big fan of it, but so I look at it. We had 70 reservations and 40 people showed up. But what they did is they took seats from other people. So if you're out of state, if you are out of state or you're in South Florida, get with Fred DeFalco. I'm willing to come down to South Florida and do it for 3 hours. Okay. So that's South Florida can be covered. If you're out of state, I'm actually going to do it online by Zoom. And there's going to be a couple requirements. Number one, if you're driving, I'm going to take you off the screen. You have to be at a computer. You have to be at your desk. You got to be prepared to do the exercises. So if you attend it and you're driving, I'm going to remove you from the thing. When you say, oh my God, I got removed, yeah, that's because you're distracting the other people because you're not able to pay attention. And the second thing I want you to have is I want you to have a goal. I want you to know exactly how much money you're going to earn. And by the way, I'll have this date by Tiffany, hold me accountable to this. I want this date by Tuesday so we can put it in the GPS so we can do it by Zoom. Okay. And the third thing is, I want you to be committed to the whole 3 hours. If you tell me I have to go because I got an inspection or a buyer appointment or a listing appointment at the beginning, sorry, I'm going to have to leave early. I'm going to remove you. Now, I know emergencies happen and things happen. I get it. And there's one more thing I'm going to ask you to do, and you may not like it, but I'm going to ask anyways. One of the things that I do every time I teach a class or get on a call or whatever, and I've been guilty of this too, guys, being on the other side, I want you to put your darn cell phone away, because if you miss something, guess what you're doing? You're calling me and you're asking me a question of something that you lack to pay attention on. I know these things sound harsh, and these are probably things that we tell our kids, but those are what I'm asking you to do. I'm going to take 3 hours of my time to do a Zoom. Those are the requirements I'm looking for you guys to have. And I'll go through it as housekeeping as well. All right. So anybody have any questions before I move forward on the plan, putting like a little chart together? Anybody have any questions on the goals, the plan, the action? Set a goal, make a plan, take action. So the goal I have for next year may be blah, blah, blah. The plan I'm going to take is I'm going to put my business plan together. I'm going to put my daily accountability together, and then I just take action. Goals, priorities, and strategies is your GPS. You've got to have a goal, you've got to have priorities, and you've got to have strategies to achieve that. And we actually call that a 1-3-5. Okay, we call that a 1-3-5. So it's a very, I'm going to upload it into actually, I'm going to send it to the chat box right now. Tiffany, if you can put it in the daily download.
As you're typing that in, I have a question.
Yes.
So throughout your business, because this is something that I'm asked quite frequently, how often are you changing your GPS? Quarterly, annually, biannually, your GPS? Are you changing it? Are you modifying it? How often do you do that?
Here's what I would say. An attachment to and this goes a little bit further, in addition to a 1-3-5, we have what's called a 4-1-1. It's a checkup. Okay. So It's a checkup is what it is. Are you looking at your goals weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually? Okay, that's what you need to do. Weekly, quarterly, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. You got to do it. Because here's what happens. Let's say, I'm going to open this. Hold on. I'm trying to talk and do something at the same time. I'm not really good at that. All right. There's the blank 135. If I'm in my first quarter and I have had 0 closings and my goal was to have 2 closings per month, and I just keep moving forward and I don't look at my goals at all, I have to readjust. So if my goal is 2 closings a month and we fall into April 1st and I've had no closings, I have to do what's called goal setting to the now. So now what I got to do is I got to get 6 closings in the next 9 months additional. How am I going to do that? I got to up my appointments. I got to up my lead gen time. I got to up something. So you got to always kind of look at your goal, right? And we call that a daily reflection. If you're not looking at your calendar every day and seeing what you have to do, then you're not going to achieve it, right? So goals, priorities, and strategies, upload it into the chat box. It's right there. You can download it. So thanks for bringing that up, Claire, because it is very, very important to know. And by the way, what is it? My coach always tells me, and I've heard this numerous times, if you have any gaps in your calendar, that's bad. That's poison. It'll hurt you. Fill up your calendar. Stay busy. The most productive days that you have will fire you up for the next day. I promise you. If you feel totally exhausted from your day, then maybe you didn't have the best day, even though you were really busy. But if you're fired up because you had one of the best days ever, yeah, you're exhausted from being fired up. The next day, you're going to be like explosive. Nothing's going to stop you. When momentum is going, nothing can stop you. You know, that's what gets a plane up in the air is momentum. That's what gets the rocket up in the air is momentum. That's what, you know, causes great damage from these hurricanes is the momentum, the wind, the waves. So nothing can stop you when you got great momentum, right? So momentum. All right, I'm going to go to the next one. I apologize for doing it this way. I don't like doing this. I don't have my foot chart with me. So, all right. So,
Tom,
who
you
wants
just
more leads? Who wants more leads? If you had an opportunity to get a ton of leads right now, would you take them? Okay. So, I'm going to do a little exercise with you right now. I want you to go through your cell phone. Can you read that? What's it say? 50 cheerleaders.
50 something.
50 cheerleaders. All right. So what I would like you guys to do in moving forward for the next quarter, all right, I want you to go through your cell phone. I want you to go through your email. I want you to go, I want you to talk to your friends, your family, your neighbors, everyone. I want you to get 50 cheerleaders between now and the end of the month. And here's why. You get, and this is what I mean by a cheerleader, someone who will support you, someone who believes in you, someone who trusts you, someone who knows exactly what you do for business, someone who's going to be someone to help support you. Now, if you have a great business running already, just get 50 more cheerleaders. This is the impact it's going to make for you, okay? The ultimate goal is to get 300 people in your database. See, 300 people in a database equals 24 sales. So a friend of mine that coaches a young man up in Amelia Island, he no longer here's his lead generation. He calls his database of 500 people. And by the way, he's doing over 20-something million every year. Who would want to be that person? Yeah, we all would. You know what it is? It's building your cheerleaders. Build your cheerleaders. I want you to start doing it now, even if it means, let's say we got 22 business days in the month of October, or 23. I think there's 23. 23 business days in October. if we need 50 by the end of the month, we only need to get 2 a day, 2.1, whatever it is. I want you to build your database by 2 people every business day, and that's it, okay? And so what if you don't have 50 cheerleaders? Well, go out and create them. Do it through open houses. Do it through maybe your kids' football games, soccer games, school environment. Do it through something, your church, your, whatever it is, whatever you're involved in. We're all involved in something. Build 50 cheerleaders. Even if it means, hey, Sasha, this is Tom. I would love to take you out for a cup of coffee and see how things are going for you. So, hey, how's everything going? You know, just general conversation. They're going to say, hey, how's real estate? Okay. Is it hard to go for a cup of coffee once a day with somebody new for the next 23 days this month? So now you've just built 23 people as cheerleaders. If you call me and say, hey, I'd love to take you out for coffee and just get, you know, just mastermind with you and, you know, see how things are going, man, that's a warm feeling. That's a cool feeling. So build your cheerleaders. Once you build your cheerleaders, you're going to start, these are all new cheerleaders. And you may have cheerleaders right now, but you don't even know they're cheerleaders because you're not calling them. You're not calling them. So these are all new cheerleaders. What happens is this is what's pretty cool. They become leads. Your cheerleaders actually become buyer or seller leads. How much did that cost you? Zero. Do you know the average cost per Zillow lead to a closing is around $2,300? Yeah, it's expensive, guys. This doesn't cost you anything. Build your cheerleaders, all right? And then when you build your cheerleaders, you'll get leads. And then what you do is you put them into your database. So now you're building your database, and be purposeful about your database. The other part of building cheerleaders is we have 63 people on this call. Sasha, you're in Orlando. Are you typing in the chat box and say, hey, or St. Cloud, either way, it's a part of Orlando, whatever, so anyways, are you typing in a chat box saying, who is not in Orlando? I'd love to connect with you for some referral opportunities. I'd love to make you a referral partner. We got a lot of people in South Florida. We got a lot of people in Chicago. We got a lot of people in Baltimore, with Maryland, all over the United States. Are you reaching out to everyone in our own group to say, hey, Jay DeFalco, would you be a referral partner for me? Hey, Claire, would you be a referral partner with me? Hey, you know, are you doing that? You got 63 people on this call right now, and there's a great opportunity to build some of those cheerleaders. And by the way, Jay called me one day and he said, hey, I'm looking for a referral partner. I said, I'm not the best referral partner for you. And here's why, because I'm not on this as much as I am my wife maybe, but why don't you reach out to this individual? And he goes, oh man, that's cool. So I'm not taking everything from everyone. I got a referral database of plenty of buyers and sellers. If I want to sell more real estate, all I have to do is go in it. Referrals are great. I'd rather other agents get them. I want them to grow. So are you building cheerleaders with agents? First thing I did when I moved to New Smyrna Beach, 16 or 17 years ago, I knew no one here. I was doing 15 million in business in Orlando. So I started driving back and forth every day. And by the way, at that time, it was way different. The internet was different. The MLSs were different. It was way different. Okay. We didn't have Zillow back then. We didn't have Realtor.com back then, guys. Believe it or not, we didn't have them. Okay. And so I'm like, I'm tired of this drive. But I was doing 15 to 20 million in sales. So I'm like, I'm not doing this drive anymore. Forget it. I'll just build my business here. My wife's like, you're going to give all that up? I'm saying, yep, I'm just going to start referring it out. Here's what I did. I went to all the real estate offices in Orlando and I said, can I do a one of your meetings as one of your preferred vendors? I want to be one of your preferred vendors and bring coffee and bagels or whatever to one of your meetings. My business skyrocketed within 6 months of referrals. So, are you visiting maybe some other real estate offices, maybe some small mom and pop boutique brokerages that might be 50 miles away from you and say, hey, I'd love to be a referral partner for you. Okay. Your agents will help you. What happens is when you start building the database and these become leads and you build your referral agents, now you've got appointments. And those appointments are either with sellers or buyers. Now, you need to know how many appointments do I really need to achieve my goal. You got to break that down. Go to page 129 in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book and read that chapter. See, I know what the numbers are. I'm going to throw them out there real quick for you. If you want to make $100,000 a year, here's what you need. You only need one appointment per month. That is it. Olivia, I see your eyes going, I don't know if that's true. You know what? You're probably right. You probably don't need one appointment a week. You probably only need 3 a month because the prices are so high, versus, the price can change the appointments. But here's what I'm saying. If you go on one appointment per week, you are guaranteed $100,000 in net profit every single year. I just broke it down for you. So if you want to earn a gross $1 million a year or net $1 million a year, you're going to have to do 7 to 10 appointments per week. Now, you're not going to be able to do those by yourself. You're going to have a team. You're not going to earn that much money alone. You're going to have a team. So if you're not earning $100,000 right now and you would like to, 1 appointment a week. Sasha, we sat down and did this exercise a couple of times, right? Yeah. Olivia, I promise you, if you focus on 1 appointment a week, you will earn nothing less than $100,000 in net profit. But there's one thing you have to do to that. You have to do 2 to 3 hours every single day of lead generation. You got to go out and you got to find the business. And that's building your cheerleaders. Now, when we go on appointments, what ends up happening? When we go on an appointment, 1 or 2 things happens. We either get a contract or we don't get a contract, right? Here's what I'm going to ask you. Are you asking for the business? Oh, they're so nice. And I didn't want to be pushy, so I didn't have them sign it right then and there. They told me they're going to call me next week and they're going to hire me. I'm their number 1 person. Well, let me just tell you, you lost it. You didn't, you can kiss it goodbye. 95% of the time, they're not going to call you back. Get it done now. So Sasha, based on everything that we talked about, what would stop you from hiring me right now? This is the magic question you ask any buyer or any seller. Based on a consultation, what would stop you from buying or selling from me now? Get them to sign a buyer's agreement. And then you have to have them sign a listing agreement. And then when they give you an answer, say, what else, what else, what else, what else, right? Just keep saying what else. Okay, if we can resolve all of those, will you sign with me today? Because they may be minimal things like I got to put mulch, or I got to sweep the floors, or I got to clean, or my kid's graduation's this week, I got to do it next week, whatever it may be. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and sign it now and we'll date it for next week. All right. It's the number 1 question that agents miss every single time. What will stop you from hiring me today? Every door I used to knock on for sale by owners, I'm so grateful that you invited me to come and see your home today and list your property with me today. I'm not listing my home with you. What are you talking about? Oh, well, just tell me not now. Maybe you won't, but not now. Maybe later, right? So I didn't build enough relationship with them, but I wanted to feel them out. All right. One more thing, Claire, and I'll dig into some questions. All right. So once we go on appointment, we start writing contracts. I want to talk to you about a 20% fallout rate. For every contract that you write, only 80% of them will close, okay? So if you write a deal for October and you have no other deals and that falls apart and you're upset about it, here's what I want you to think about. This is what my old team leader told me, and it really resonated with me, and I talk about it a lot, is he said, Tom, if you get upset about a deal falling apart, that means you don't have enough business. If you had 10 closings in the month of October and 2 didn't close, would you be upset, Olivia? Right? No, we're thrilled. We're closing 8 deals. Expect 20% of them not to work. I promise you, it will. The numbers do work, right? All right. So build your cheerleaders. When you build your cheerleaders, you'll get leads from them. Build your database with those cheerleaders. Go out and meet a ton of agents. Agents refer business to agents. Okay, you get that? Once you get your leads, they turn into appointments, either sellers or buyers, and that's when you start writing contracts. Now, we are going to do a very in-depth business planning, October 13th, October 21st, and then Tiffany and I will come up with a date to do it by Zoom. I will tell you, I have a hard time sitting still for 3 hours, but I'm going to stay committed to doing it for you guys. First time I see someone get antsy with me, I'm going to go, I got to do it too. So you're doing it with me. So I'm committed to doing it with you. I definitely want you to show up and I want you to be prepared. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to open up. Claire, you had a question.
So one of the things that has been coming to light so far as stress levels, I had to change my mindset and understanding that anytime that I was making my calls to my cheerleaders or my sphere of influence, I followed it up with a personal note. So on top of my calls, I make it part of my lead gen to send them a personal note after our call, because I ask them how I can help them. It's about helping them. It's not about asking for business. It's about helping them. And it has had huge effects on businesses all around Florida.
So one of the number one reasons we don't succeed at something, the number one reason is our mindset. It's 100% our mindset. And I think I'm overdue to play Facing the Giants video, the death crawl. But here's the thing, guys, it's all in your mind. You can achieve so much more when you have to do it. So our kids are resilient. We're resilient. We're made to be resilient. But what happens is, see, when we're kids, we rely on our parents to push us and help us do better, right? When a little kid falls off his bike, what do you say? Get up, do it again. Falls again, get up, do it again. Great, you did it, right? I don't want to, I fell, I scratched my knees, my face, my elbows, blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, you can't get them off the bike and they're riding all day long. I can't swim. Well, put one hand in front of the other or you drown. No floaties. So they learn, right? When you're 15 years old and you got your permit and you're learning to drive, you're trusting your parents. Just trust the process. Here's the gas, here's the brake, be careful, right? Then we go off to college and we got our professors and we got everyone helping support us and we got a little bit of accountability. We make sure we get good grades so we can get a great job. Well, guess what happens? Most people that come out of college don't get the job that they want. And then they sit around lazy, tired. They don't know what to do with their day because they have no one pushing them. So remember, when we become adults, we have accountability to ourselves, our family, and that's why we need other people in our lives. So make sure you get those people in your life that are surrounding you, that are pushing you, not pulling you, right? Get rid of the anchors and look for the engines. The anchors will sink you. Believe me, it'll even be your family. You know, it could be your kids. It could be your sisters, brothers, in-laws, whatever it may be, friends, you know? So find the influencers in your life and then you'll explode. Start taking risks and stop being afraid of what someone's going to think of you. Who cares? Nancy, are you still on the line? All I see is LOL. Are you laughing at me? Because I know where you live. Coffee and mingle, 8:30 to 9, lunch. Okay. Thank you, Mateo, for putting that up. And then I put it to 135. I'm looking through the chat box. All right. Anybody have any questions that they would like some clarity on? AHAs, 5 calls a day and 2 personal notes mail generates over 6 million. Thank you, Claire. We're in Lakeland and would love to serve your referrals. There you go, Chris and Daryl Noon. They're already putting that out there. Pat Towns is in Atlanta. So, all right, AHAs, questions. What did you like? And what would you like more of? Stephanie, how was like your participation?
Cheerleaders. Yes, 50 cheerleaders. So I noted that, and just, you know, I usually, my database is really where all of my sales come from. And sometimes, like, especially right now in the times, like you hear about things that are really not too easy for them, whether it be a death in the family or whatever it is. But I do feel good to, okay, well, let me get you dinner, you know? So it's just keeping in touch, because you don't know what's happening with them. Everybody right now is going through. So it's nice to be able to keep in contact with them. And that's a big reminder, 50 cheerleaders. So
yeah,
thank you.
build your cheerleaders. I'm telling you, you know, I was so proud of my wife. I put a post up yesterday and she sent me a text and said, correction, I did more units than that. And I'm like, really? How was my spelling though? Was my grammar okay? She said, yeah, that was fine. But she, I was so proud of her. She closed more in 1 month than, you know, she's in the last 13 months, she's closed about close to 40 sales. And she's, I don't think she did 40 sales in 3 years. And it's because of more focus, more attention to the database and the people. I think the pandemic was really good for us. You know, there's some bad in it too, but for the most part, it was really good. We were able to focus on people, care calls. How you doing? How's everything going? Stephanie, just like you said, we're all going through something, or someone we know is going through something. And one of the things that I love is, for me, is if I say, hey, gosh, I gotta send Stephanie a birthday card. Well, I'm probably not gonna stop at CVS, Walgreens. I'm gonna forget about it in 10 minutes, but I have AM cards. So I can go in there and put her address in, and the card will be just sent out, right? So get a system, get a system. And a card goes a long way, guys. A compliment goes a long way. There's so many different things to build your real estate business that you just have no idea. So it's top of mind. Keep focused.
Cards has the $2 bills. And when I sent them out for Mother's Day, they were all like, oh my God, what do you need? You know? And so it's amazing. Like, it's a $2 bill. It's $2, you know?
That's right. So here's the other thing. Halloween is going to be here before we know it. Get those little miniature pumpkins. Go to a pumpkin patch. Don't go to the, you know, they're like 20 cents a piece. You can buy a bunch of them for like 20 cents a piece. The real small ones, put your business card on there with a pumpkin pie recipe on there, and put them out in your community on the front porches or patios of your neighbors. By the way,
I have an idea too. Sorry,
they
Tom.
love those. They love those. Go ahead. Who was it?
That's me, Krista. Hi, good morning. What I'm doing now that we're coming to the end of the year, I am collecting all the closing statements, addressing them in manila envelopes with cards so that I can send them to everybody who bought, buyers and sellers this year so that they can do their homestead exemption. So that's another touch for January. So that you guys.
Absolutely. A friend of mine still hasn't filed for homestead exemption. He's been in the house 12 years. I sold him the house 12 years ago. And I'm like, Jake, what are you doing? He's like, man, I keep forgetting every year. And his taxes are like super high right now. He's like, man, if I could get that, I'm like, it's not going to go down now. File for homestead. You can even do it online. You can do homestead exemption online. Okay. Really, really, that's a great thing. Thank you, Krista. All right. Anyone else?
Me.
Me.
No, I just I just had I just wanted to give feedback on the class, just a reminder that the relationships to keep fostering the 50 cheerleaders. And I was actually thinking about that the other day, that I need to kind of give a little bit of love to my cheerleaders. I actually have an idea. I thought about doing like a festival type thing, but a private one in my home because I have 1.5 acres. Now, I know on the business side, a lot of people would say no, big liability, but I thought about like getting a bounce house, maybe doing some pumpkin carving for the kids, some face painting, and bringing those small cheerleaders into my backyard, and then doing something personal. Because I've done the cards and things like that, but my referrals is all that. Of everything I get is referrals from people that love me.
Do a fall festival. That'd be awesome. I'll definitely show up if your husband's cooking.
Oh yeah, he'll cook the pernil. Yes, he'll cook the pernil. Yeah, everybody, we're like, I think all of the big teams in my old office, they love Ariel's pernil. So yeah, we can get people here just for that.
Yes.
And the arroz con gandules, Lizette? Come on.
Oh, yeah, the arroz con gandule.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daryl, for remembering that. I cooked for
Yes,
him
thank
so he
you.
would teach at my church one time, and he came because of the food. Yeah.
Where are you at? Because I love all that.
Huh?
Where are you?
In Orlando.
Yes.
You guys.
So when
are
she has
giving
that fall
ideas.
festival, her biggest cheerleaders might just be all of us on this call.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea, Lizette. When are you going to do it?
November. My husband's laughing, by the way. We're gonna do this. I don't care. We're gonna do this.
I'm going to stay out of that one. Once you get it together, let me know.
I'll be there. You just let us know.
You guys, should we do one for agents? I wouldn't mind.
Well, just do it there, and then if you can have your lender, your preferred lender there too. Like, hey, you can have fun, have some penne.
It's that time of year, guys. It's that time of year to do like happy hours with your cheerleaders, or invite them to a little fall festival, the pies, the pie giveaways. There's all pop buys, bringing them something of something. You don't have to overthink it. You just have to keep them top of mind. That's it.
One more thing, I actually did this last year. I'm just giving ideas for those people that don't want to have a lot of contact with each other. If you have the 10 people that, let's say the top 10, I actually offered them a free family session, 30-minute picture session. You can talk to a photographer and you can get a pre-discounted price for these special families, and then they can take a family portrait for the upcoming year for Christmas.
I love that. Hey, I wonder if they can do for the holidays, like a Christmas picture and stuff. Do the
I did that.
The virtual Santa Claus sitting on the virtual Santa Claus lap or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. These are great ideas, guys. These are touches to build your cheerleaders. Those who you pay attention to will always bring you business. Speaking of yesterday, who follows Kevin Ward, W-A-R-D, Kevin Ward? All right, I know Tony Fuentes does, right, Tony? Kevin Ward? All right, so I get his emails, I get his blogs, I get all this stuff. Yesterday, he wrote in his blog, I don't know, Tony, if you read this, but he was upset. He was upset yesterday because he missed an opportunity. One of his past clients came to him, seen him at a store, was super excited to see him, gave him a hug and said, we just sold our house and we're buying a great house. We're so excited. And he goes, I was so mad at them. He goes, but then when I showed my excitement, even though I wasn't really excited for them, but then I had to go back and self-reflect. And I had to look, when's the last time I reached out to them? When's the last time I touched them? When's the last time that I ever, sent them anything? And he goes, he hadn't. So the next time that you miss an opportunity, make sure you're not upset about it. The only person you should be upset with is yourself. So Kevin Ward is, he's a lead generating machine. He's got great scripts, dialogue, great blogs, videos, YouTube. And I read his stuff all the time. I read Inman, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Grant Cardone, anything that comes into my email, Tony Robbins, I'm reading all their stuff. They're great leaders. They're influences in our world. Those are the people that you want to learn from. So. All right, 9:25. You got 5 minutes. And then Tiffany is taking it over. Go ahead, Lizette.
One more idea. I should do a
And then there'll
class
be
on
another one
ideas.
after that, by the way. But go ahead.
Huh? Oh, sorry. So one other idea is you guys can do this too, is you can go to like a coffee shop, maybe a small business coffee shop, and prearrange paid coffees or something, and then bring an event where you can bring your centralized location where you could have your sphere come pick up a free cup of coffee and you're there to say good morning.
Hey, you know what Ali does? This is brilliant, by the way. So he sends out to his entire database like a grand opening of like a Wawa or a Buc-ee's, or, when they have free like appetizers and drinks and stuff like that. Companies, local companies. So he'll send them out a mass invitation. Hey, I'd like to invite you to the grand opening of Buc-ee's. They're having food and drinks and entertainment. And they automatically relate it as he's the one putting it on. But all he's doing is he's building the community relationships. So think of things that are coming up in your community. If there's a great pumpkin patch, do a quick little video of it, send it out to your database. Say, if you're in the area, this place is awesome, come get your pumpkins. Just be someone that this is how you build your cheerleaders. How often are you touching them? Are you a resource for them? All right. I love the collaboration. Everyone starts throwing ideas out there, and I see more and more people writing. So it's good stuff. We're going to go silent until Daryl talks.
Hey, Tom.
Daryl. Oh,
How
that's
we
the
doing,
other
brother?
Daryl.
Good. Hey, I just want to thank you, man. You are such an inspiration for my wife and myself. Every time we listen to your calls, we're just like on fire. You're like, to us, you're like a Grant Cardone. You really are. And I haven't thanked you enough over the months that we've worked together and stuff. We really appreciate you. And matter of fact, we're going away Sunday for 5 days. We're going on a planning retreat in Madeira Beach, and we're going to implement a lot of the things that we've been learning from you for 2022, because 2022 is going to be our year. We're going to freaking kill it.
Man, thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate you both. You guys are always so complimentary and everything else. I really, really appreciate that. And I'll pay you later on. No, thank you so much, Daryl. And I really, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
You got it.
I
Thank you.
piggyback. Thank you so much, Tom. You're the bomb.com. Love you.
Oh, thank you guys. That's awesome. It's a very humbling opportunity to even be here with you guys. It really is. that's why when George said, hey, would you consider doing the Friday calls? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It's been a growth for me as well. So I appreciate you guys. So.
Tom. Hi,
Yes.
this is Nahed. Hi, this is Nahed. I have an announcement.
Oh, yes.
I got my I got my mortgage license back. So I'm originating loans now.
Nice.
So if you guys need help with anything or your lender is not responding, I'm available 24/7. How bad is that?
That's fantastic. Thank you for that.
And it sounds like she speaks Spanish.
No,
Yes,
I
now-
don't. No, I don't. I speak Arabic.
Ooh, yes.
Oh,
Can
So-
you put your contact information in the chat?
Sure.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. There you go. Look at that. What a good
Put it on
connection
the-
already.
On the GPS page, because actually an Arabic speaking mortgage banker is actually very rare. So I would put that on the GPS page.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, guys, we have no more time left and I'm out, and Tiffany and Joe are going to take over. And I so appreciate everyone on this call. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I'm looking forward to any of you guys that are going to show up for the in-class, or we'll get on the schedule for sometime this month to make sure we get that 3-hour business planning in. So have an awesome day.
Thank you, Tom.
See you.
Thanks, Tom. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
You guys got me for a little bit. I won't hop out for my YouTube work just yet. I'm still here.
Pop.
Let me go ahead and stop